Hello, and welcome to the Kentucky 4-H Project Goal. This is our December 2021 edition, and today we are going to be focusing on career exploration and workforce development skills. And so I'm happy that we're able to work together on this project. My name is Chuck Stamper, and I am Extension Specialist for 4-H Youth Development at the University of Kentucky Cooperative Extension Service 4-H Department. Now, so let's get into what we're doing. So when we are trying to find a niche, when we're trying to find a place to work or a place to volunteer, you always are going to be asked, what skills do you have? All right. So are you able to be on time? Are you able to use a rake? Are you able to speak or communicate clearly and effectively? So all of these are skills that are very important in getting a volunteer position if you're too young to work for wages, or a paid or hired position if that is what you're looking for as well. So how do you go about and do that? So how do you find out what skills that you have? So today we're going to do a little brainstorming activity that hopefully will be beneficial to you. So what do we need today? We need some blank paper, and we need something to write with, whether it's a pencil or a pen, markers. I said paper, but you could do 3x5 index cards, poster board, whatever that you want. If you are tech savvy and you like to create or compose online, then feel free to use your computer and be able to do that. I would ask that if you are using the computer, that you do so under the supervision, guidance, and approval of the adult in charge of you at home. And I know some of you use technology every day, but we just want to make sure that you are accessing safe and appropriate materials anytime that you're online. So let's get right into what we're doing. We have titled this activity the ABCs of Skill Development. So it's really fun. It's going to be short and simple, but it's very something you need to do, because usually what we do is suggest that everyone redo your resume, your skill set list, your maybe your cover letters, all of these things. No matter if you're applying or not, we ask everybody to review these in the fall. I mean, it's just a good practice to do, and especially before the new year, so that in the winter and spring and summer, if you do apply for volunteer or paid positions, you will already have this information ready to go. And so that's what we want you to do. All right. So what do we need? Well, let's use one of the sheets of paper and let's do a brainstorming activity. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your blank sheets of paper or create it on the computer. All right. And I want you to just have a sheet of paper, and I want you to put ABCs or skill ABCs. And down the side, I want you to list A through Z. All right, very simple. After you do that, I want you to think about, well, what skills do you have personally? All right, so if you are flexible, so that means that you try to get along with people, you try to compromise, so you could put flexible thinker in there as one of your skills for F. Maybe one of your skills is that you are a good reader. All right. And so that means that you could read to people in the community who may not be able to read very well. Maybe you could tutor people. So reading would be an awesome skill as well. Maybe you have skills on the computer, so you have computer skills, technology skills, so you could write that on there for C. So what I want you to do is go through that list and first list all the skills that you personally have. All right. Then I want you to go back and I want you to list, see if you can fill in the blanks wherever that you may not have a personal skill. And you may have to have help asking folks for help, and that's perfectly all right on this activity. You might want to look it up online to see, you might not know any skill for the letter Z, so you might want to look that up and get help with doing that. All right. So that's the first part, create that list. Then I want you to go back and I want you to check mark, make sure that you check mark or highlight the skills that you personally possess. Okay. After you create the whole list, then you might realize that you actually had more than what you thought at first. All right. So check mark the skills that you personally have. The second part of this activity goes a little deeper. So when you have check marked all of your skills that you have personally, I want you to go back and I want you to choose the 4 that you think you are strongest at. All right. So if you are you feel that one of your skills is that you are a strong and effective communicator, so you might circle that or put a star by it so that is one of your strongest skills. Maybe you're really good with a hammer and hammering or working with a saw safely or working with other tools. So, those might be another skill that you would circle. All right. So I want you to circle the 4 that you think that you are strongest at. All right. After you have done that, take a few minutes, look at them, and I want you to really describe what those skills are in your own words and how you think that you could use those. All right. So where could you use computer skills? If you're volunteering or working for pay or hire. All right. Where could you use a skill of being able to type or compose online? Where could you use the skill of being able to read fluently? Okay. Where would you be able to do that? So I want you to make sure that you understand the skill. All right. Understand why it's one of your top 4. And then I want you to explain and list on there why where that you could use that skill and how can that skill, benefit you. All right. And so you could use that on another sheet of paper, and all that you need to write on there, it says, is my skills. So you're going to list the top 4 skills that you have, and then you're going to explain them and tell how that you will be able to use those. All right. Or where that you will be able to use those. See, that's why this is so important. Now, after you have that, I'm going to challenge you for an extended activity is go back and choose 4 other skills that you may not be as strong with, but you are still strong, and do the same activity with those. It would be really cool if you continue to do this until you had all 26 skills listed. All right? But that's up to you. I want you to first focus on the top 4. After you have done that, then you can go back and you can start thinking, well, if I want to volunteer in my community, these are my skills. So where can I find places that need my skills? Or if you're looking for to be hired, you can also make sure to look in the job description of the position you want to be hired for, and see if the skill sets that you have match what they are looking for. You see how important this is? And this is why we want to make sure to do this and update this and keep it so that you can use it every year. All right? Okay, so just as a reminder, so we want to create the list of the 26 skills. We want to then look and see what our 4 top skills are. Then we want to go back and describe them or define them. And then we want to make sure to go back and tell where or how that you could use those. All right? And then we want to make sure to integrate that as an application. You could also then make sure to, add that skill sets to your resume, your cover letter, or if you are too young to do that, to have a resume, you could also just keep these skill sets lists in a folder or somewhere in your desk in your room so that you can pull those out as you do volunteer work around your community or in your 4-H projects. There are some new opportunities in our 4-H program at the State Fair for in the areas of 21st century skills for learning. All right. So now, what are 21st century skills? Well, those are skills that you need to have when you're going to volunteer, or you're going to college, or you're going into the workforce, or career preparation. So we are titling those 21st century skills for the workplace, or 21st century skills for success. So check those out and check with your 4-H agent about activities that you could do for the county that could possibly go on to the state fair. Well, this has been a short one, but it will actually take you, I'm guessing, at least an hour to do this, maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And so I want you to spend the time that it takes to do it right. Okay. But you don't have to do it all at one setting. Take your time, come back to it. That way, give yourself that time to refresh and have some really good thoughts. All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today for our December edition of the Kentucky 4-H Project Go. I love that. I just want to start cheering when I say that. And our session today for December is focused on career and workforce preparation, especially focusing on what our personal skills are. All right. So if you want more information, check out more information with your 4-H youth development agent in your local county. All right. Thank you very much and have a blessed December.